And you might have some people that beg to differ and will say differently, but for the most part, if it's on Rotten Tomatoes and it has a high rating, it probably is a solid movie because again, it's not they take an aggregate score. It's the critics, but it's also the fans. So the Blackening, I remember I wanted to see this movie. This came out in 2022. I remember talking about this early on in the podcast a couple years ago. And with this film, it's kind of a mix of comedy but also of horror, right? So the Blackening, yeah, again, it's a horror movie, but it's also like kind of like comedy. It feels kind of spoofy. It kind of felt like it was gonna be on some like scary movie type stuff, but no, it actually holds up. Um, I would say that this movie, like I said, even though it did come out a couple years ago, it was only in select theaters, so I never got an actual chance to watch it. Um, but yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it did live up to the hype. If it did have hype, on Rotten Tomatoes, it had scored like an 87%. I thought it wasn't particularly scary, but I thought that it had a good balance of suspense and comedy. I think the plot was good. It's basically like on some like haunted house type of feel, and this group of friends are trying to have a gathering, a reunion of some sort, right? And they go to play. They go there, and the first couple that gets there, they're early, and they end up encountering this board game called the Blackening. And it's I ain't gonna lie, it's wild because there's like the main like symbol on there is like a blackface like minstrel character, right? And so it looks weird. It kind of looks rough, you know what I mean? And you're like, what the hell? And they have to answer different questions about black culture. But if the players refuse to play or they get answers wrong, they get killed. So then when the rest of the group comes, they're wondering where their friends are, and then they end up starting to play the game as well. And then they find out that this is some like type of elaborate plot, and there's a cool twist in the end, because like one of the people that came to a reunion is behind it. I mean, he's behind it. But like I said, there's a lot of good funny moments, but there is also some suspense where you're just like, oh snap. Like you don't know what's gonna happen, you don't know how it's gonna end up. But overall, I thought it was good. And it was a feel good. It had like a feel good, you know, effect to it. But again, it was a 87% on Rotten Tomatoes. But that was a movie that did not really get talked about enough, I would say. So, leave a comment below, man, if you've seen The Blackening. And yeah, like why didn't that get no love? I mean, in 2022. And like I think it's probably because a lot of people just didn't see it, but the critics that did see it, they gave it love, man. And the fans that seen it, they gave it love. So, and I would say that holds up. It holds up. All right, let's move on. Yeah, so man, again, y'all know about this boy Charlie Kirk, man. So, we're not talking necessarily directly about Charlie Kirk, but something happened in a Starbucks. And at Starbucks that you can, you give them your name, right? And so now, they used to print out the name and like, they would often get your name wrong. But now they've kind of gone back to like handwriting the names. So the big thing right now at Starbucks is that people are ordering a drink that like they're ordering like Charlie Kirk's Starbucks order, and whatever kind of drink it is, it don't matter what it is, whatever. I've heard some people make jokes about that. And a lady goes viral because she was upset because the person brought out her drink, but they did not say the name. And she put that her name was Charlie Kirk, right? So I do have a video to kind of share with you, or at least a piece of this to share with y'all, and then we can kind of go from there. But I kind of want to know what you guys think about this. I already know where this is going. But I even responded to it. Like I even commented on the post because I just thought like it was a little bit ridiculous. But let's see. But it says here, woman explodes on Starbucks barista after she brings drink instead of calling out Charlie Kirk. So we're gonna watch like maybe a piece or two of this because it's kind of like the same thing over and over. But let's take a look here. So notice she does say the name of someone else's drink. All right, so that's what's gonna trigger this lady.
So you didn't call his name out? You didn't call the name out? Yeah.
She's recording right now.
I am. Yep. Why can't you say his last name?
What is happening? Why are you being like that, Jennifer?
Why are you being like, yeah, why are you being like this?
No, why are you being
Yes.
like that to you?
Well, okay, why are you being like that to me?
You are being so rude to this girl.
I'm not.
She brought your drinks to
I actually am making a point, a big point.
Recording her, setting her up for failure.
I actually wrote a very good post prior to
This is
this.
crazy, ma'am.
It's not. I wrote.
So it does go on a little bit longer. We'll watch a little bit. So basically, she's upset that the person didn't say the name, Charlie Kirk, right? She just brings out the drink. She points out that she said the other person's name, but like she's like, why didn't I? And then she's like, I'm here to make a point. And she's trying. This is what I've learned a lot about, like manipulation tactics, whatever. And what she's trying to do is trying to make it seem like she's not being malicious, and she's gonna tell us and repeatedly tell us that she gave this Starbucks a good review. Why would you give them a good review before you got your drink? All right. So again, that's all for show. All that talk about, oh, I gave a good review. That's all for show. So let's keep going. Again, there's a lot of different parts of this carousel. We're not gonna watch the whole thing, but we're gonna watch a little bit more.
Wrote a very good post prior to this. I wrote a really good post. I was really hoping you were going to make the right choice.
I really hope you're gonna make the right choice. I'm gonna bring that up again. So hold on.
It's not politics. A man spoke up for what he believes in, and he got shot in the neck over it.
Oh my God.
And you couldn't stand there and call my name out, my name, but you called his name out. But you called his name out, couldn't call his name out. Called his name out, but couldn't call his name out. No, actually I was setting him up for success because I wrote a really good report. Excuse me? It is Charlie Kirk. It's the point. You guys came in after me. The place was completely empty. And you're making a scene. You didn't have to make a scene.
All right, so I'm done watching this, whatever. But so it goes on, whatever. Eventually, like a manager kind of comes out and tries to like talk to her, and they eventually like tell her like she's gonna have to leave. But shout out to the bystander that kind of stands up and saying like, "Hey, why are you trying to set this girl up for failure?" Even the barista, she goes on to say like, "Hey, I don't want to get political," and then this woman makes this point. She's like, it's not about politics. I'm making a point though. It's not about politics. And it clearly is politically driven. This is not about and she kept saying, it is your policy. It is your policy to say the name that's on the cup. And I commented about it not being policy. And I said, I'm gonna read my comment. It says, it's not their policy, LOL. As long as they give the right person their drink, that's all that matters. Insufferable is the only way to describe a person like this. And I got like a lot of likes on that. Like, and just on a comment, it's kind of, I got 558 likes on that comment. And I did have a couple people that replied to it. There was one person that said like, no, actually it is their policy. And I was like, cool, I'll stand corrected. Maybe it is their policy. However, this lady was trying to be divisive. Like she was doing that on purpose. And the thing is though, Starbucks has I looked it up and it said that it's kind of like a recommendation. It's kind of like a norm, but it's not a policy. Like they're not required. Employees, they don't get fired if they don't say somebody's name. Again, the most important thing is making sure the customer gets the right drink. I don't care if they say my name. I just want my fucking drink, bro. Like I can have an order number for all I want. The reason why they say names is because Starbucks wants to create like human connection. But obviously that lady was not trying to create human connection because She didn't want her name to be known.